Milos emerged from the depths of the sea. Perhaps indeed the myth of the birth of Aphrodite from the foam of the waves is but a symbolism of the birth of the beautiful islands from the entrails of the earth. Thousands of millions of years ago, after the big explosion, a supercontinent was created, the Pangaea. Europe, Asia, and America were then linked. The Mediterranean did not exist. The ancient Sea of Tethys extended from the Pacific to the Indian Ocean, covering all the present Central America, the Atlantic, all the southern Europe, and northern Africa. Millions of years later, the continuity of Tethys was disrupted with the collision and ploughing of the continents. The Atlantic Ocean was then formed and the Mediterranean basin was created as a result of the convergence of Europe with Africa at the Hercules columns, the Gibraltar Strait. The Mediterranean was then an area of extensive valleys and saline lakes.
Όχι, εκεί που είστε. Θα κινήσετε αν δεν το σπορικό. Ωραία. Καθίστε, ελάτε πιο πίσω. Ελάτε κοντά μου, πιο πίσω. Πιο πίσω. Τα κούλι μικρούλι πιο πίσω. Ωραία.
Communication with the Atlantic Ocean was only possible through the mountain ranges of Atlas and the Rift in Africa and from the valley of Guadalquivir in Europe. Tectonic agitations have continued for millions of years more. In eastern Mediterranean, Aegeis emerges from the depths of the sea, a concrete mass of land that extended from the Ionian Sea to Asia Minor and southern Crete. After the melting of the glaciers, the level of Atlantic rises. The old straits of Atlas and Guadalquivir converge. The Strait of Gibraltar opens. The waters of the Atlantic pour into the western Mediterranean. The geological relocations are continuing in Aegeis. Trenches, sinkings, elevations, and climatic fluctuations. The Mediterranean Sea starts flowing into the east, covering the ditches between Kythera, Crete, and Crete the Deccanese. The Greek Terra emerged from the sea depths roughly 30 million years ago, and the islands of the Aegean are but the crests of the mountains of the submerged Aegeis. Earthquakes and volcanoes contribute to the final formation. Important geotectonic changes take place in the Aegean as a result of the collision and ploughing of the lithospheric plates. The African plate is moved and sunk under the Eurasian one, creating big ditches that cause intense seismic and volcanic activity, which result to the creation of the Aegean Trench. The creation of the volcanic trench coincides with the creation of the volcanic arc of the southern Aegean, 220 kilometers long, that extends from the Corinthian Gulf up to the island of Kos, and includes the volcanoes of Methana, Milos, Santorini and Isiros. The seismic and volcanic activities, as well as the movement of the lithospheric plates, continues up until today, and it will keep continuing in order to fulfill the utterance of Heraclitus that everything on the universe undergoes a continuous change.
Να πω σε ταχύτητα αρκετά. Έτσι εντάξει. Έχουμε ένα απόστολο islet. Τώρα περίμενε Τάκη.
Έχει ένα κορδόνι εκεί πέρα.
Πώς ανοίγει ρε Τάκη? Τάκη δεν ξέρω πώς ανοίγει η κάμερα.
Γεια σου λέει.
Άστο.
Πρέπει να τον πάρω γρήγορα. Έτσι ανοίγει. Είσαι ρε Τάκη. Δεν ξέρω αν σε πειρά. Γυρίσω και πέσω.
Χαιρέτα Τάκη.
Άρε Τάκη, τι θα δείξει τη μαμά σου. Να μια κοντρόλα δεν να πέσει παιδιά.
Μόνο, μία. Όλες έτοιμες είναι.
Στις μην γίνεται αυτό.
Όλη η Ελλάδα.
Α, αυτή η ομάδα είναι πιο φορά λέει.
Αυτή η ομάδα, γεια σας.
Α, έπεσα από
In the Hellenistic period, new blossoming follows. Aphrodite, la Venus de Milo, the statue that made Milos renowned to the end of the world, was created at that time. Aphrodite is exhibited today at the Louvre Museum.
Θα περάσουμε κάτω από το σπινάκι. Α, όχι, πάμε.
Antoni Vasilaki, a painter of the 16th century, pupil of Paolo Veronese, became famous in Venice. He came from Milos. Also, the philosopher Diagoras, 5th century BC, was from Milos. Diagoras of Milos, also known as Diagoras the Atheist, was a poet and sophist, student of Democritus. Diagoras provided quite impressive arguments against the existence of gods, which were presented later by the Roman philosopher Cicero